Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Carsar, and welcome to a video I didn't think I was going to create, because about a month ago I picked up a 911 GT3 RS, and before buying the car I wasn't sure how it would be as a daily driver. But having owned one for about a month and driven as near as makes no difference 3,000 kilometers in the car, I believe that the 911 GT3 RS might just be a better daily driver than the Rolls-Royce Wraith. And I'm going to tell you guys why today. Now, one thing I want to say right before I get started actually is everything that you're about to hear in this video is how I feel personally about these two cars. Almost nothing that I'm going to say today is factual. This is purely based on opinion, on why I believe that my GT3 RS is a better daily driver than my Rolls-Royce Wraith. Again, please do not, I know there are going to be people who are going to disagree with me. Emphatically, go ahead, write what you guys think down in the comments below. I would appreciate that. But again, nothing I am saying is factual. It's just solely based off of my own opinion. So with that out of the way, let's start by talking about practicality. Now, of course, objectively, again, this video is going to be very subjective, so let's start with the objective. Objectively, the Rolls-Royce Wraith does seem like it's more practical. Obviously, it has 4 seats, it has a bigger boot, right? But practicality isn't just how much you can fit inside the car, but how often you can drive the car, or where you can take it, or what you're worried about when you take it out. And that's where the Rolls-Royce Wraith has its disadvantages, because it's huge. Like, that thing is absolutely massive. It's a boat. It's really difficult to drive in tight spaces. And I'm saying this living in Dubai right now. Dubai is one of the biggest. Their roadworks, their infrastructure, everything is amongst the biggest that I have ever seen in my life before. Even the parking bays, they're huge. But still, you feel the strain in the Rolls-Royce Wraith. So that's one thing to consider. It's the expanse of the Rolls-Royce Wraith that deters me from enjoying the driving experience so much. I know that I might just curb a wheel or two, and I know how much it costs to repair a curbed wheel, because unfortunately I did curb one, and it wasn't cheap, obviously, with the carbon fiber and the diamond cut and whatnot. So it's too big to be a practical daily driver. It's like the GT3 RS. I'm sitting as far down, as far back as I can, and I can still see both fenders from my driving position. And it's just such an easy car to place on the road. I can literally, I can play around in my own lane and still be comfortable. And that's where the whole practicality aspect of the GT3 RS comes in. Obviously, it's not as practical objectively, because you can only get 2 people in the car, and storage space, while yeah, I do have this behind the seats cubby area, it's hard to get stuff back there because of the roll cage. The front trunk isn't too small either. It's decently sized, but obviously it's nothing compared to the full 2+2 coupe style front engine rear trunk setup of the Rolls-Royce Wraith. Another thing the Rolls-Royce Wraith doesn't have is Apple CarPlay. And I'm not too familiar with Dubai's roads, so I hate using the navigation on the Rolls-Royce to get me places. Whereas Apple CarPlay, obviously, it is the easiest thing. You have access to everything you have access to on your phone. So that's another advantage that the 911 GT3 RS has to the Rolls-Royce Wraith when it comes to daily drivability. But the biggest thing to take away from the practicality is the fact that I can take the RS wherever I want, if not worry about bottoming out, because I have a nose lift. And at the same time, I'm not worried as to whether or not I'm street parking the car. The RS, it just works, man. It works with my lifestyle, it works with my character, better than the Rolls-Royce Wraith does. So moving on from the practicality aspect, let's look at the comfort aspect. Now, I know Rolls-Royce is synonymous with comfort, and this might just be the most comfortable car that I have ever sat in. But it's definitely the most luxurious as well. But you see, comfort to me is a little bit more complicated than just how the seats, how comfortable the car is to sit in, if that makes any sense. But let me explain. So if I drive the Rolls-Royce Wraith hard, which I don't do often because why would you? It's a Rolls-Royce Wraith. I'm sort of all over the place. It's like I'm not in my seat. There's no side bolstering, there's no bolsters for your legs. You're sort of just free floating in the Rolls-Royce Wraith Black Badge. And I, being a 21-year-old, I tend to drive rather quickly, right? So yes, the Wraith is more comfortable if you're driving slowly. Because like right now, I'm definitely more comfortable. It's so quiet in here. There's no road noise. There's nothing. You don't have to worry about the outside world. It's crazy how this car is able to disconnect you from everything that goes on outside. But when you do start driving a little bit more quickly, a little bit more, like even now, I'm just taking this turn at 60 kilometers an hour, but I sort of feel my body almost leaning to the left and I have to fight it. And that's not a very comfortable thing. You know, I feel like these seats would benefit, believe it or not, from a little bit more support. Because I'm not driving quickly right now, yet I'm still being moved around more so than I would like in a Rolls-Royce. The GT3 RS seats, on the other hand, they're not as comfortable as these are, but they hold you in place. Like, you don't move an inch when you're driving hard. Or it doesn't matter how hard or slow you're driving. The GT3 RS seats, they don't let you move out of your position. And that, to me, is great. I don't like being thrown around. And I do tend to drive a little bit quickly sometimes. And doing that in the Rolls-Royce Wraith is not a fun experience. Yes, it's more dignified on the road as well. I don't feel any of the lumps and bumps anywhere. Like, I'm going over something right now. I think it's a drainage duct. And you guys didn't even feel that. If I was in the RS, I'd be bouncing around all over the place. But that's not too big a disadvantage to me because I just feel like I'm more connected with the road and I know exactly what's going on. And to me, if I'm daily driving a car, I want it to feel connected. I want to know exactly what I'm doing. I don't want to get distracted or detracted from the driving experience. I want to be a part of the driving experience, if you guys get my gist. So maybe I'm picking at straws here, but in my opinion, yes, the Wraith is more luxurious. Yes, but yes, to some that is where the appeal of a Rolls-Royce lies. To me too, don't get me wrong, I understand why this car exists. It's supposed to be the most opulent experience that you can ever get. But to me, as a daily driver, the RS's connection with the road, subjectively, the RS is more comfortable for me. It's weird. I wish I could explain this to you guys in a way where I'm not sounding like an idiot, because I am very well aware that anyone watching this right now is going to think I'm talking crap, but I'm not, because I really prefer... comfortability is subjective, right? How comfortable you are behind the wheel of a car. And I'm more comfortable behind the wheel of the RS. So it's weird, man. I wish I could better explain this to you guys. I don't think I can in any way other than just explaining that, yeah, fine, you saw the whole practicality portion, right? Where I discussed the girth of the Rolls-Royce. And it's huge, man. This is a car that you don't want to get caught out driving. And that's in Dubai. With one of the biggest roads I have seen anywhere in the world, the biggest parking spaces, the biggest everything, right? So, I don't know, it's weird, it's different. And I do prefer the GT3 RS without a shadow of a doubt. One of the biggest things to consider about the running cost of the Rolls-Royce Wraith is fuel consumption. With its immense weight and the 6.6 litre twin turbocharged V12, this car averages 24 litres per 100 km in our ownership. The GT3 RS, on the other hand, lightweight, 4 litre inline 6, and I averaged over 3,000 kilometers, 16 litres per 100 km. So that's a pretty decent saving on fuel cost. Other costs, well, obviously tires is a cost to consider. Since the GT3 RS does run the Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2s, I will have to replace them more often than the Rolls-Royce's tires. and they are a little bit more expensive as well. But I mean, that cost pales in comparison to what I believe to be the biggest cost with these two cars, and that is depreciation. Yes, percentage-wise, both cars may depreciate the same amount, but since the Rolls-Royce Wraith MSRP is almost double what a standard GT3 RS costs, the monetary value of that depreciation will be far greater, and that's something you need to consider when daily driving a car. One cost that I'm hoping I never have to incur on the GT3 RS is having to change those carbon ceramic rotors, because if I do, I might have to sell something else in order to get the money for those. So all in all then, taking into consideration everything I have discussed, from practicality to the comfort of daily driving the car, all the way down to the running costs of each of the cars, the RS may not on paper seem like a better daily driver, but in real life, it is. It just is, man. I'm just so much more comfortable behind the wheel of this car. If I'm going out for some groceries or something, I'll find myself taking the RS, because I don't want to, when I take the Wraith out, I'm always thinking, oh, where do I park it? I'm always craning my head over the hood, trying to see where the front fenders even are, because it's a hard car to place, right? So for people who have similar needs as I do, the RS is a perfectly good daily driver. And then it does one thing a lot better than the Rolls-Royce Wraith. Like, a lot better. 9,000 RPM. And just the fun of driving. Even if you do that once on the drive, because I'm a firm believer in driving isn't a means of getting from point A to point B. Driving is the point, right? And it doesn't matter where I'm going out, but if I can have fun on the drive there, then I'm a happy camper, right? So really, I'm quite shocked and quite pleasantly surprised with how well sorted the GT3 RS is, even as a daily driver. So with that, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys do believe, for whatever reason, that what I'm saying is incorrect, let me know in the comments section below. And until then, I'm going to be daily driving the RS instead of the Wraith, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. Cars are out.